At 4-8 in conference play, Utah 5-7 in Big 12 action, and they are meeting for the second time this season. Cincinnati traveled to Salt Lake a couple of weeks ago and lost that first matchup 69-66 to the Utes. Gabe Matson, as we mentioned, a key for Utah. He had 18 points in the victory. Simas Lukosius, hesitation from the elbow, and that's a quick turnover as Ezra Asar, nobody around him, as Utah gives the ball right back to the Bearcats wearing their white uniforms in the black trim.
Well, clearly a concern for Craig Smith, and that was not caused by anything except self-inflicted. And Utah had 19 turnovers in the first game. They won in Salt Lake, but need to take better care of the ball.
Jizzle James starts right where he left off in the BYU game. Boy, he was fantastic in that game. Hit his first 4 three-pointers, was 6 for 8 from deep, a near career high 24 points in the win at home against BYU. Aziz Bandago, he's been playing well in these last couple of games, and you know, you got the inside, you got the outside, you got Day Thomas, Jizzle James up top. They really have the athleticism when they play Jizzle and Day both in the backcourt, frees up guys like Aziz and Dylan Mitchell.
Yeah, they don't set up as much. They kind of just play, as you said, Eric, a lot freer. And that's where Utah has to just slow down a little bit and take their time. They had numbers, but they rushed the issue.
Utah was picked to finish last in the preseason poll, but Craig Smith in his 4th year has done a really nice job. They're 13-10, 5-7 overall, first year in the conference, and he's still adjusting to things, figuring out what kind of personnel, coach, wins in the Big 12.
Well, clearly the Pac-12 is a great conference, but it's different. The Big 12 is different. The style of play is much different. It's faster, it's more aggressive, it's more physical.
Jizzle just inside the arc, and boy, is he feeling it. He was out here, coach, at 10 o'clock this morning, working on his mid-range jumpers, and he got 2 to start this game for the Bearcats.
Well, that's great credit to Wes Miller. He's kind of freed this team up. Offensively, they're not trying to set up and run a lot of plays. They're just reading and reacting.
Madsen hits the 3. Is really one of the few threats on the outside that this Utah team has as Cincinnati turns it over. And Craig Smith still trying to find, you know, the right lineups to work against some of these tougher Big East teams. They really don't have a true point guard, and you go up against Wes Miller's Cincinnati teams who are so good defensively, have a lot of good perimeter defense. It's going to be tough for Utah, especially if they're going to turn the ball over like this. Day Thomas misses, but right now, coach, Utah just can't hang on to the basketball.
Yeah, to get into their rhythm, slow down, space the court. They're very good in the half court. They run the good motion, but it's got to be within rhythm.
Go inside to the big 7-footer, Lawson Lovering, and it's another turnover. That is number 4 on Utah. For Cincinnati, coach, what are the keys to the game?
Well, you must continue the energy and confidence. The last 2 games, they've been super on the offensive side of the ball. And then handle the size. Utah is very big and strong and beat them bad on the boards, but they better make sure that they keep up with the pace. And it starts with Jizzle James, not a good start. And then their offensive rhythm has not been in rhythm as they've had too many turnovers early.
7 points for Jizzle James as Utah gets a slam from Ezra Asar, the transfer from East Carolina. They need to keep him out on the floor. He's dealt with foul trouble throughout the course of this season. That was the story in the loss against West Virginia. Just didn't play a lot of minutes because he's getting a lot of whistles.
Sure, Thompson's guarding Jizzle James, but he's giving him a few steps, but he's got the size, but he's got to make sure he gets in his face on those shots, especially the mid-range.
Nice turnaround, Dylan Mitchell, who 2 games ago had a season-high 19 points at UCF, the transfer from Texas. Makes it a 9-5 Bearcats lead. 3.5 minutes gone by in the opening half. Here's Mike Sharanjobs. First player from Mongolia to earn a Division I basketball scholarship. Father, a former Harlem Globetrotter. They go inside to Ezra Asar. 2 real easy buckets in a row for Ezra.
I like that type of scheme for Utah. Patience, not a lot of dribbling, and you try to use that size. That time they went high-low.
7 quick points for Jizzle James and a 2-point lead for the Cincinnati Bearcats. They got Lukosius coming off a curl. Inside, Dylan Mitchell. And the foul on the floor as Asar went airborne and was called for the personal.
Well, Chisel James was on fire over the weekend and in their previous. You know, sometimes as a coach, you just make one tweak, you see how it works, and sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And when it does, that gives your team so much confidence. And you can see they're just playing. They're not running sets so much. They're just the floor is more open. Yep. And as someone once told me, Eric, it's how you finish. So they went through a rough spot in January, but they've got plenty of opportunities still going down the stretch to turn things around.
Bandego with the bucket on the other end for the Bearcats. Dan Skillings into the game for the first time. He was chasing Gabe Madsen. Madsen beat him in the foot race, but just could not finish. That's one of the adjustments that Wes Miller's made, is bringing Dan Skillings off the bench.
Madsen just took his eye off the rim at the last second. And a really good move, but sometimes players, the last thing they do is they'll look at the target. Day Thomas, it's all the way to the rim, and a bit of a mini crash, but it's the Big 12, Eric.
Yeah, got to play physical. Day Thomas. Now Simas Lukosius hits the three.
And that's the other thing. When the threes start raining from one spot, it's contagious, and everybody's feeling good about themselves. And I'll pull the trigger too with confidence.
Simas 3 for 15 from deep the last 3 games. Hits that one there to give the Bearcats a 7-point advantage. Hero Little checking into the game during the break. They go inside, pump fake. Waleed blocked. Keanu Dawes blocked both times by Aziz Bandego.
Wow, talk about the second jump. The resistance by the big fella.
Now a pick and roll. Bandego mismatch against Madsen. Well, shot put. Reed slaps it to Skillings, and he missed the bunny. Utah trying to push. They like to go inside if they can. Instead, it's a handoff. Not a great shot. Pretty deep for Gabe Madsen. The ball will stay with Utah. They bring in a bigger lineup now, Coach. Lawson Lovering, the 7-footer. They have Asar out there. Keanu Dawes, who's coming off a double-double in the loss against West Virginia. If they want to go big, they can go big, and they can work you inside.
And then we saw this on Saturday against West Virginia. The bench did a pretty good job for Utah. Little played well. They need Little to play well. He does a good job. He's really one of their few true point guards, a guy who can get them into their stuff. And Dawes is important. Dawes and Asar up front can really pose problems on the backboards, in the lane, and on the baseline.
Big body forwards. As Day Thomas called for his first personal. Dawes, the transfer from Rice, 6'9", 220. The second career double-double came on Saturday in the loss to West Virginia. And then you've got Asar, who's got the basketball now, similarly built, 6'8", 240. Josh Reed guarding him. Asar backing down Reed, slips, regains, finishes.
Yeah, he's a good player. He needs a little space down low, and they need to make sure they look into him. Sometimes they go minutes and a lot of possessions without getting him involved, but he's got some really good moves around the basket and very athletic.
He's got 6 points now, and that ends a 2-minute-plus drought for the Utah offense. Dan Skillings spot up 3. That one knocked out of bounds. Gonna stay with Cincinnati, 13:39 to go. Here in half number 1. Wes Miller, 4th year. Again, a lot of high expectations. Preseason top 25 just has not worked out. They've had 2 4-game losing streaks in Big 12 play this year. They're hoping they're done with those. This fan base has gotten a little anxious. Jizzle James, short. Dan Skillings, rebound, put back, no. Got his own miss. Blocked away.
Boy, Cincinnati's really doing a good job in the offensive glass. They're just leaping over Utah. Then here comes the Utes the other way.
And Wes Miller talking to Skillings. Has a quick bucket after 3 or 4 looks for the Bearcats on that last possession and nothing going down.
Cincinnati's doing a good job just keeping the ball alive, but sometimes what happens is you're pounding the glass and the ball bounces up and down game. They want to play a physical game in the paint.
Cincinnati +4 on the boards right now. You mentioned the physicality. Utah likes to get it inside. 3 of their 5 made field goals have been dunks so far. CJ Frederick, a sharpshooter out there for the Bearcats, as Mitchell lost the alley-oop. Asar undercut him. And here comes Ezra Asar with a head of steam off the glass and in. A chance for a three-point play, coast to coast for Ezra Asar.
Yeah, I really like him. He's starting to get used to being at this level. Obviously, he came from East Carolina at a much higher level, and he is playing a different style game for Craig Smith. Now, at East Carolina, they played a lot of pick-and-roll game. They don't play that at Utah. Utah has a system of more of a motion. He can take the ball on opportunity, and he's starting to understand the system from game to game, and I like him a lot. And again, we can say it again, they need to get him more involved.
Chance to tie it up here with 13:01 to play in half number 1. Utah on a 6-0 run. Asar now with 8 points to lead the way. Jizzle James had the first 7 points of the game for the Bearcats. Has not scored since, as the Bearcats have not registered a point in 2.5 minutes. C.J. Frederick, local kid who's bounced around between Kentucky and Iowa before coming home, as Skillings threw it away.
Skillings, his decision-making so far tonight has been a little questionable.
Asar throws up a prayer, hoping to get a whistle. Did not get it from the officials. Randy Natili, Brooks Wells, and Randy McCall. Skillings fighting for the offensive rebound. Jizzle James left alone. Airmails it off the head of his teammate Arrington Page and out of bounds.
Well, Utah settled down defensively last 3 or 4 minutes of this game, and James came off hot. They've adjusted their defense. They're pressuring him a little bit more on the perimeter, pushing him out of his sweet spot, not allowing him to get into that mid-range game.
Mike Sharvjumps and Hunter Erickson back in for Utah. Jake Wallin has it. Press break, 3-on-2. Asar met at the rim by Dylan Mitchell. Utah retains possession. Great rim protection so far by the Bearcats today. Sharvjumps for 3. That's short. Mitchell wanted to push, nearly lost it, got it back. Skillings, he might have gotten away with a travel. Instead, he threw it away. 2 turnovers for Skillings here early. Here's Sharvjumps to his left. A body and a whistle.
Well, they're playing off Skillings, and he's got to read the defense and make better decisions.
11:46 to go in the first half. Little family reunion here in Cincinnati. We'll have more about the Madsen twins when we return.
If you look
early, and you need Mason and Gabe to step up their game, but so far Ezra Asar has been the guy around the basket. There he is again.
Tripped up, and Bandego called for a foul. It's his first.
A little body bump, a little reach on the baseline, and good offensive move. You got to take, when Bandego steps outside, you got to try to take him off the bounce.
4 team fouls on Cincinnati. Hunter Erickson from the elbow. Jizzle James, Cincinnati started the game 5 of 7 from the floor. They've gone 1 of 10 since. It's been nearly 4 minutes since their last made field goal. It was a Lukosius 3-pointer. He has it now. Tyler Betsy, the freshman, in there for the first time. Bandego, shoulder shake off the glass. No. Good move. As Lovering up the court, and Asar gets the assist, and Utah takes the lead, a first lead of the game for the Utes.
Boy, Lovering really doing a nice job of just rim running, and off the glass, Utah secures the rebound, and he's gone.
Jizzle James gets Cincinnati back on track after that 4-minute-plus drought.
Side ball screen Wes Miller likes to use with James, going from the wing to the middle of the floor for his good mid-range shot.
9 points now for Jizzle, nearing the midway point of the half. Sharvjumps with 10 to go. Lovering lowering the shoulder, 2 to shoot. Puts an elbow into the chest of Betsy, and Lovering the little jump hook.
It's a good move by Craig Smith, taking advantage. Betsy, Lovering's got that big height advantage as Bandego's guarding Asar, so they're going into Lovering.
Lovering's got 6, a perfect 3 of 3 from the floor. Lukosius takes a step, Rainbow three, lips out. Mitchell, the offensive rebound. James weaving through traffic. Another missed layup for Cincinnati. Bandego, another offensive rebound. Boy, Cincinnati just cannot finish at the rim. And a foul on the floor. Offensive rebounds continuing these possessions, but Cincinnati, some great looks. 10 offensive rebounds. The struggle has been on those second chance points.
Well, Bandego did a good job, obviously, keeping the ball alive, but he got pinned under the rim. And really, when you're pinned under the rim by 2 or 3 defenders, then you've got to go back outside with it. See, he's got 4 Utah shirts right around him. If he goes back outside, he's going to find an open teammate on the perimeter.
10 offensive rebounds, just 5 second chance points as Ezra Asar takes a seat with his second foul. Wavon Griffith, the local product, redshirt freshman from right here in Cincinnati, checking in for the Bearcats, and Betsy throws it off. Keanu Dawes to keep the ball with the Bearcats. 9 seconds on the shot clock.
Well, a lot of teams do that, Eric. That's a set play. If you get the ball around the rim, Houston is very good at that. If you get the ball, unless you have a clean look right at the rim, you turn and look outside, and your teammates know to slide into an open area for an open 3 on the perimeter.
Thomas, step back 3. Still searching for his first bucket, and a foul underneath as Bandego working hard on the glass. Foul against Utah. It's on Zach Keller.
Conscious effort by Cincinnati to really dominate the glass, and Utah's had trouble with them on the glass, but when they are able to secure the rebound, there's definitely opportunity to get out transition because Cincinnati is really crashing with 3 and 4 guys.
Bandego swarmed and one. Bandego beats the triple team for the bucket.
Now this is Aziz on Bandego. This is where his game has improved, doing a much better job of carving out space, demanding the ball down low, and good footwork through traffic.
Last 2 games, combined 25 points. You see what he did the previous 7. A lot of this coach for the Bearcats, their resurgence as of late, frankly, has just been effort. They're working a lot harder. You see the numbers on the boards today. They're +9 on the glass compared to -18 in the first matchup against Utah. Keller, too strong.
Well, Bandego was in the neighborhood, made Keller rush the shot.
Side-to-side movement for the Bearcats, and Day-Day Thomas lost it. Was looking for a foul, did not get one. Gabe Matson got a high screen. It was a good one, good open look atop the free throw circle, but Bandego another rebound. Lukosius calling for it. Pass was a little late. Matson closed in. Here's Betsy for 3. Two-time Connecticut High School Player of the Year. Now a freshman with the Bearcats, and it's a 4-point lead for Cincinnati.
Well, again, the renewed confidence for Cincinnati on the offensive end. Great understanding there. Betsy just confidence, locked and loaded.
Cincinnati 3 for 9 from 3. Here's Gabe Matson. Nowhere to go. 4 on the shot clock, make it 3 on the shot clock as Cincinnati's defense making it tough for Utah down low.
Well, tough down low defense, crashed.
Yeah, he's looking good.
$10 million body. He looks like he still could get a double-double.
Good NBA career for the Bearcat, and got some front row seats. So do we. Eric Rothman, Tim Welsh here with you. 3 seconds on the shot clock for Utah. Good defense by the Bearcats before the timeout. Lovering left alone. No defense.
Wow, just miscommunication. It was a great play by Craig Smith coming out of that timeout. They set a back screen, then they re-screened. And Cincinnati didn't switch or hedge. or play any defense.
8 points for Lovering now.
That drives you crazy as a coach because, of course, you knew that play was coming.
Here's Reed. Josh Reed coming off the best game of his career. Travels there, but Josh Reed, who's really been a defensive specialist for this Cincinnati team, had 12 points in the win against BYU. The first time he had more than 10 points in a game since 2022. And boy, the fans were going nuts with his effort and great steal and a dunk and just really firing up the crowd with his performance.
Fits their style. He's not a great offensive player per se skill-wise, but he makes a lot of different things happen defensively on the glass in transition.
See the paint numbers there for Utah. They do it again, this time Lovering with the left hand. And basically, it's been Lovering and Asar. They have all but 3 points for this Utah team so far.
Cincinnati is dreadfully small right now, and Craig Smith's taking advantage of it. He sees that Mitchell and Reed are their two bigs up front. I don't know if they can handle Asar and Lovering.
So far they have not. Those two have combined for 18 points. Lovering's got 10. Josh Reed, high arcing three is good. Keep the good times rolling, Josh Reed.
Yeah, only his 7th on the year, but confidence. As we said before, their renewed confidence on the offensive end. It trickles down to even the role players.
4th three-pointer of the half for the Bearcats. Hero Little. A little 10-footer there, misses on the baseline. Jizzle James cut off by Little. Under 6 minutes to play. Step back. That one lipped out as Jizzle James landed on his backside. No whistle there. James leading the way for the Bearcats with 9 points. Mitchell jumps the passing lane. The interception. The pass up ahead. Day Thomas with the left. No. Got his own rebound. They swing it through. Reed left alone. Back to back for Josh Reed.
Well, why not? If you're open, you just made one. Bang it home.
Whistle on the floor. The Bearcats lead it by 6.
Reed did a good job. They did a great job defensively creating the turnover and then coming back down. There's the first 3. They didn't get out and contest them. They don't respect it. And these numbers don't really say you should, but you got to get near them. You can't be in the gym by yourself. And Utah not communicating.
6 points, 2 triples for Josh Reed. You mentioned that BYU performance. A 12-point outing for Reed. And again, is a guy who's been a good defensive stopper. It gives him about 15-20 minutes a game. But they have not needed or relied on him to score. And I mentioned it earlier in the game, Coach, that a lot of what I see from Cincinnati in this recent success is simply more effort. And you see it in some of those plays there. Guys like Josh Reed, you know, saying to themselves, you know what, I'm tired of scoring 40 points as a team in a game like they did against Kansas. We're better than that. Let's work a little bit harder to get some buckets.
Well, I think Wes is developing his bench now and giving them more confidence.
Yeah.
And Josh Reed is a great example of that. I mean, you're not going to count on him to score, but he's going to create some stuff, create some havoc. A really good guy to bring in off the bench. And if he starts making shots, then you know, that's icing on the cake, as they say.
No doubt about it. Also getting C.J. Frederick some more work as Frederick's out there guarding the perimeter. His head on the shot clock for Ezra Asar. Good spin move, too strong off the glass. Did everything but finish.
Well, Reed was present, though. Reed was very physical down low. He's only 6'7", Reed, but he's got long arms. He's got that big wingspan.
Skillings found help in Jizzle James. And a reach-in foul. It's going to be on, I believe, Ezra Asar. And earlier I had said Ezra Asar picked up his 2nd foul. They had actually changed it during the timeout. So this is Ezra Asar's 2nd foul. A 3rd foul would have been disastrous here with 4:50 to go in the first half. The previous foul that was attributed to him, they switched it to Sharv jumps. As you see the duo of Asar and Lovering and the damage they've done here today. Jizzle James double figures here in the first half, 11 points. on 5 of 9 shooting.
Sharp jumps 6'9". He's got to get up closer. I don't know why he's giving James so much space on the outside and in those mid-range games.
8-0 run for the Bearcats to their largest lead of the game. Jake Wallin banks in a 3.
Now they need somebody to step up from the outside no matter what it is. And Wallin, Greg Smith calls him the connector. He's so good, a glue guy on the perimeter.
Dylan Mitchell, the lefty. Too heavy. Lean the other way. Just over 4 minutes to play in the half. Madsen with the left. Good dribble drive and a finish.
He had his head up that time. He knew exactly where he was. Great body control and take into the lane. 5
points now for the Utes, leading scorer on the season. He averages 15. You see Utah, 20 of their 26 points have come in the paint. They are 2 of 4 from 3, however. Reed thought about it, now takes it. Step back. What a show Josh Reed is putting on here today.
Well, someone's been in the gym, because that shot looks pretty good. It looks a lot better than somebody that shoots the numbers that he's put up all season long. But renewed confidence, player development for Cincinnati.
Wes Miller, after the game against BYU, told Josh Reed, that was the best game of your career, but it won't be the best game of your career. Maybe tonight.
That's going on. First, Gabe Madsen with the nice twist and turn in the lane, and then who's that guy? The Rainbow Runner from downtown Cincinnati.
3 here today. It's a 32-26 point lead for the Bearcats here at home, looking for their 3rd win in a row. We try to get back on the NCAA tournament radar as Lovering the block on Lukosius. Eric Rothman, Tim Welsh with you here at Fifth Third Arena. Cincinnati has out-rebounded Utah by 11 here in this first half as Gabe Madsen was left open top of the key.
Get caught ball watching if you're defending Madsen, and that's what happened on the perimeter. They've got to be close enough to help, but also be able to recover to contest Madsen.
8 points for Gabe now as Lukosius. 3 points for him. Shot put, mid-range jumper for Lukosius.
Well, I like that part of his game. Sometimes he hangs on the perimeter a little bit too much, but he's got that size. He took advantage posting up Madsen down on the mid-range area.
Keanu Dawes will take a crack at the 3, and Keanu Dawes, who's coming off the second career double-double in the game against West Virginia, his first bucket there.
Another guy not unlike Osar, came from the American Conference, just stepping up a level and starting to really find his way lately for Utah.
Sar from East Carolina, Dawes from Bryce, as Lukosius slapped across the wrist.
Dawes, he's another guy that hasn't made a lot of threes on the year, but more minutes lately. He was very good against West Virginia on Saturday.
Bandego and Betsy back into the game for Cincinnati. Lukosius coughed it up. Hunter Erickson comes away with it. Wallin steps into one. And Bandego the board. It's been good on the glass, 4 rebounds in the half. Tyler Betsy, a transition 3 is good. Tyler Betsy, the freshman's 2nd triple of the half.
Well, that was from way outside out of transition. I thought might have been a little quick, but confidence growing for the young guy.
The 7th three-pointer of the half for Cincinnati. Madsen can't match. 7 for 13 from deep. A 5-point advantage with a minute change to play.
Yeah, I don't like that shot by Madsen. You can get that shot anytime in the shot clock.
Clothesline as Lukosius was trying to fight through, and it's on Keanu Dawes, and that puts Cincinnati in the bonus.
You want guys like Gabe Madsen to be aggressive and have the green light, but you're in a tight game on a road. You're hurt Cincinnati a little bit on the baseline. Lovering has been really good. Just get little bit more patience. You'll get that shot maybe in the mid part of the possession.
Second foul on Keanu Dawes, so something to keep an eye on the second half, Coach. Now Dawes and Asar both with 2 fouls, so you can't afford to have those thick forwards sitting on the bench for too long if you're Utah.
Well, and they're kind of wasted fouls too, Eric.
Yeah.
They're getting them off the ball, not really defending at the rim or on rebounds. They're getting them on bumping cutters and getting in the way of screens. You got to just be more cognizant of where they get their fouls.
Touchdown pass, Hunter Erickson. And a foul on the floor as Jizzle James was trying to keep up with him.
Well, this is a good foul. I like this foul because of the fact, you know, you're taking away the layup. You're fouling him before he gets into the shot motion.
Second foul on Jizzle James. Dan Skillings, after a brief spell on the bench, comes back in. Trying to work Gabe Madsen free. Fadeaway on the baseline is good. Gabe Madsen finding his stroke here late in the first half. He's got 10 points.
That's a real good offensive move. And hard for Day Thomas to stay with Madsen at 6'6". He just shot right over the top.
$10 on the shot clock, 25 on the game clock as we wind down the first half here in Cincinnati. Skillings looking for a 3. That one rattles in. Skillings' first bucket in 5 tries. Seven seconds to go, and Lovering a clear path to the basket. He's got a dozen. Half court, Day Thomas, no. An exciting and entertaining first half here in Cincinnati.
A lot of buckets, Eric. That flows around him, and when he starts playing with the confidence that he has here in the second half, it really will open up a lot of different things. We've seen Lovering and Asar do things in the first half, but they need Madsen. They need some three-point production, and he's a guy that can do it. And they're running very good offense. They're changing sides of the floor. Their timing is excellent, and their dribble handoffs on the wing. Cincinnati's going underneath. They're getting pinned, and Madsen's making them pay.
Madsen's got 16. Lovering's got 14. They've got 30 combined of Utah's 47. And the halftime lead for Cincinnati has gone poof. 17:29 to go in regulation.
It's easy math, Eric. You learned that at Syracuse. 3s beat 2s every time, and Utah's starting to answer from the 3.
Remedial math not required for broadcasting. Jizzle James with the left hand. 15 points for him.
Jizzle James is so hard to defend because you've got to protect the three-point line, but he's so good mid-range and that time all the way to the rim.
Sar high post, low post to Lovering at the bottom of the backboard, and it will stay with Utah out of bounds.
That time Utah did not have good spacing. They were overloaded. They were trying to go inside to Lovering, but he got pushed under by Bandago. That was good defense by Cincinnati.
Wes Miller to get his team a preseason top 25 pick back on the right track. 2 to shoot for Asar. Slipped, fell, traveled.
I'm not sure he knew what the clock was. He should have shot that little jump hook right when he caught it on the rim and just crashed the boards. But give Cincinnati credit on defense. That was a very good defensive possession. Just clogging the lane, protecting the rim.
7th turnover. Utah, both these coaches in their 4th years at their respective schools, both searching for their first trip to the NCAA tournament. Both had success at lower levels. Craig Smith at Utah State. Aziz Bandago. The alley-oop finish. And to finish the point, Wes Miller at UNC Greensboro.
He cleared the backside and it allowed that Bandago that freedom on that back pick.
Wally pushed off the block, fighting his way back in the paint. Got his own board. Good finish for Jake Wallin, the sophomore for Provo, Utah.
Well, James did a good job on defense. Wallin 6'10", James 6'3", but he stayed with the play.
1 point advantage for the Utes. Chisel finds an angle, finds a three. 18 points for Chisel James on 8 of 12 from the floor. Lovering quickly the other way, and Bandego will pick up the foul.
Well, Aziz Bandego has been terrific defensively all season long, but suddenly in the last week and a half, become very offensive. Nice play call, good execution, easy finish. Let's go, and he's making everything. If he's open, he's basically every shot he thinks he's taking is going to go in.
Yeah, you look at the last 3 games for James, 15 points against UCF, 5 of 7 from the floor. Versus BYU, 24 points, 6 of 8 from 3, and already 18 points on 8 of 12 shooting here at home in this one. But still, Utah not giving up the fight. Lovering missed both free throws. It's been a problem all season for Utah, a dreadful free throw shooting team. 62% as a squad, 3rd worst in the nation in that category. And a whistle away from the ball. Maybe the 3rd on Aziz Bandego. No, excuse me, it's on Gabe Madsen, the other 55.
Get caught holding the coaches off the ball. And let's not forget, Chisel James is only a sophomore.
Yeah.
He didn't start last year. He's been handed the keys this year. This is a high-level league, and it takes time. Games, you get better with games and watching tape and getting in the gym. And he's showing why you have to be patient with the young point guard.
And Dago went over Madsen for the rebound. Offensive rebound number 12 for the Bearcats. Skillings. He'll get free throws on that one. Well, we'll see. Maybe it gets overturned. Right now, the initial call on the floor was 2 shots upcoming for Skillings. We shall see.
Yeah, I don't know if Skillings was going in the shot, but they about to, I guess, in motion.
The thought that counts, right? That's what I'm telling my wife for Valentine's Day. It's the thought that counts.
Yeah, it's thought he got bumped outside the lane, but he might have been going into his shot motion.
Zach Keller picked up his 2nd foul of the game. Let's talk about renewed confidence for Chisel James. Bearcats fans want to see some renewed confidence from Dan Skillings. He's got all the skills in the world, just has not been able to connect the dots recently for Cincinnati. Gabe Madsen. And Bandego is leaping up for that rebound. So aggressive on the boards today. Already 8 rebounds for Aziz. Back the other way, tied up. And a whistle against Utah. It's on Mike Sharpjumps, his 2nd.
Well, this is Utah, Cincinnati in their secondary offense. Just a quick hitter. They cleared out the backside, and they run that 2-man game. And Bandego, just another guy with renewed confidence, good footwork, catching the ball in traffic and attacking.
Cautious lob, Bandego fouled.
That's on Utah. Falling asleep defensively and not communicating. It's a simple little play that they went over this morning and shoot around. And you know what's coming, but you have to be ready to play right away.
Yeah, you watch enough Cincinnati basketball. The blobs, the baseline out of bounds plays are always the first look for a Bandego lob. And that's what they want to get.
Well, the first thing you got to do is you got to get tight with him off the ball so where he can't make that initial cut freely, and that Utah was giving him too much space.
Sarr comes out of the game for Utah. Bandego at the free throw line. Eight points, 8 boards for Aziz Bandego. Soft press for the Bearcats. Utes break it easily. 14.5 minutes to go here in the 2nd half at Fifth Third Arena. 5-point lead for the Bearcats. Spinning, left hand, smooth move for Zach Keller.
Keller's got that ability as well down low. Good hands.
Lukosius has had success tonight going inside on the Utah Utes.
Yeah, and I think that's what he's got to do. He's got to mix his game up. He just can't be a perimeter guy. He's got that good size and soft touch. David Thomas doing a good job of pushing the ball up the floor as well, but Lukosius down low made a nice pass to Bandego on the previous possession.
9 points for Lukosius as Bandego takes a seat on the bench. Round of applause for him. Madsen, a late substitution for Utah. Cincinnati's made 4 of their last 5 after Utah started the second half an 11-2 run. Madsen, quick trigger in the corner. It's good. Gabe Madsen's got 19, his 5th three-pointer of the game.
Well, you talk about baseline out of bounds, and that play is directed right to Gabe Madsen, and you've got to be up on his hip on the catch because he has that quick release at 6'6".
Mitchell to a wide open Josh Reed. Came up short. Was a perfect 3 for 3 from 3 in the first half. Madsen will try again.
Well, that was a little quick. Had a hand in his face. He just got knocked down. He was a little frustrated. And here comes Skellings.
There's the confidence that the Bearcats fans want to see.
That was a good read by Skellings. Not only a terrific finish, but he read the play. The floor was spaced on both sides, and he saw that one-on-one opportunity. Watch coming down in transition. Utah gets matched up a little late. The help is not there, and then he sees that Keller cannot guard him one-on-one with no help.
6 points for Skillings, who just picked up his 2nd foul. CJ Frederick, Jizzle James check back in for UC.
Utah's done a very good job all night on pushing the ball after Cincinnati makes. Cincinnati has to be aware of that as the game progresses because they've had some good, easy opportunities.
Ezra Sarr, ISO battle against Dylan Mitchell. Mitchell poked it away.
Or did he?
Yeah, fans think it went off Ezra Sarr. Let's take another look.
I didn't see Mitchell touch it at all here.
It looked like it was off the left hand
of
Sarr.
Here's an old wise tale from the officials. Sometimes they pass on the foul and give the ball back to the offensive team instead of calling the foul, and that might have been a foul on Mitchell.
Either way, they missed the shot. Cincinnati gets the ball back. Skillings was calling for it. The pass from James was late. The turnover on UC. Madsen driving, kicking to Little in the corner. Madsen relocates, and beautiful ball off the ball action from Gabe Madsen to get himself open.
Again, Eric, sorry to interrupt, but Madsen's speed and energy makes you speed up your comments because he puts his foot on the pedal, and when he does that, Utah can be very good.
22 points. He's gone over 20 for now the 7th time this season. One-man wrecking crew. 6 of 10 from 3 for Gabe Madsen. Now Jizzle, mismatch, and he makes Utah pay. Had the big man Keanu Dawes on him, and Jizzle James says, see you later.
Jizzle, the hesitation, the ability to shoot. Jizzle James is right out of the gate today. Continued on what's been going on over the last couple weeks for Cincinnati, but both these teams have answered the bell. Every time somebody makes a little run, they've answered back with really good offense. I mean, the defense, both teams are playing hard on defense, but the offense has been very, very efficient.
Every time it seems like Cincinnati's about to go on a run, they'll break this game open. Utah battles back. Cincinnati's made 6 of their last 8 from the floor, as Jizzle James trying to close out a 3-point play after the bucket and a foul before the break. Eric Rothman, Tim Welsh here with you, and a good one. 12 minutes to go in regulation. Fifth Third Arena, Cincinnati, Ohio. Bearcats, they've won 2 in a row. Offense has gotten the job done in those 2 wins against Central Florida and BYU. Utah trying to sweep the season series against the Bearcats, having beat UC in Salt Lake City 2 weeks ago. Sarr face-to-face with Bandego. Cincinnati continues to dominate the glass, now plus 12 rebounding margin for Cincinnati.
Good defense by Bandego. He said, dared him to shoot. He gave him that little bit of room on the perimeter, and he got the fadeaway.
Dan Skillings finds Pater from 3.
Some guys that have shot from way out tonight. Cincinnati feeling confident again from the perimeter. Skillings playing a good, solid game.
Timeout Utah as Cincinnati has made 10 three-pointers on the night.
Well, Dan Skillings missed some easy ones early, but as the game has progressed, his defense has been solid. He's made some good moves to the rim and confidence from way out. He and Tyler Betsy and Josh Reed and company.
Coach, you and I were...
But sometimes you got to pull back a little bit and let them just play the game. And today's player doesn't want a lot of restrictions. They had some good plays they ran, a lot of pick and rolls, but they seem to be a little robotic at times. And now they seem to be just playing and reacting.
Yeah.
And that's a sign of a good basketball team and a good coach that knows what his team needs.
Turnover there. Skillings, you saw the returning production from last year's teams. That's why the expectations were so high for Wes Miller in his 4th year, because fans and analysts all saw the potential in this core group. The Jizzle James, Dan Skillings, Lukosius, Bandego, you add a Betsy, you add a Dylan Mitchell. They just haven't been able to convert it into success in Big 12 play up until recently. And you mentioned it, Coach, the perfect word is free. This team seems freed up playing their best basketball. As Skillings drives, blocked away. Good job by Waleen to stand his ground. All that being said about Cincinnati, Coach, Utah not out of this game by any means. Madsen, step back for 3. Nearing the midway point of our second half. James, crossover, beats Gabe Madsen and goes to the rim to finish.
There's freedom in its own way. You see that they didn't set up. They came down off the missed shot. They got into their spots. They got into their secondary offense, but there was no play call. They just reacted to what the defense did and made great play at the rim.
Madsen misses the response. Offensive rebound. Hunter Erickson. Madsen tries again, and this time hits it.
You cannot let up defending him, because his motor is 100 miles per hour all the time, and all he needs is a step, and he's feeling very confident tonight.
Season high 7th three-pointer for Madsen. Bandego lips that one out. Fans wanted a whistle.
I thought he got knocked around a little bit, and then here they come the other way.
And a chance maybe at a Sports Center top 10 featuring Jizzle James tonight, Coach.
Well, he's had a lot of these. I don't know which one you say and distinguish is better than the other, because he just hesitation, the in and out dribble, the change of direction, and just, excuse me, sir, I left your sneakers on the deck.
The bench reaction. I saw somebody giving CPR as part of the celebration on the Cincinnati bench.
And that just shows that they're a together team and feeling good about what they're doing.
Madsen with 25 to lead the way. Jizzle James not far behind him with 23. It's been a great duel between those two. Madsen got space. Just misses his 8th three-pointer of the game, and now a whistle underneath against Utah.
I think Madsen was shocked how open he was. He was ready to make a pass. He saw no defender on him, and he's used to having somebody near him with the quick trigger.
Really feel for this Cincinnati team that this week could potentially be an inflection point in terms of trying to turn their season around. If you can pick up some marquee wins down the stretch and then maybe win a few games at the Big 12 tournament, try to pad that resume.
Well, the good news and bad news of being in the Big 12. The bad news is obviously every night it's an absolute knockout, drag-out battle. But the good news is that you have opportunity moving forward. Even if you have a tough start, if you keep your team together, you tweak a couple things, and they gain some confidence, you always have a chance to get yourself back in the mix.
Outside looking in right now, according to Joe Lenardi, but still room and time to change that. 8-point advantage. Aaron pass, and now 8 seconds to shoot as Skillings is all over Gabe Madsen. Not over him enough as Madsen buries it from the corner and gets a fist in the chest from his brother Mason on the bench.
I don't know what you do with that. Dan Skillings did as much as you could. He forced him baseline. He got near him. He got a little bit shook, but then he got up in his face, and he basically was falling out of bounds making that shot.
28 points, 8 of 15 from 3. What a performance by Gabe Madsen, his return to Cincinnati. 5 to shoot. Skillings heaves it up. Not a great possession there for Cincinnati, up by 5.
Good job by Utah keeping the ball on one side of the floor.
Hunter Erickson gets in the three-point party, and a timeout taken by UC as the Utes are within a bucket.
Oh, Gabe Madsen.
Oh, that's good. That's what we need.
Does that count on Valentine's Day if you send a DM to your bride?
I definitely don't think so. I think you come up short as a husband if that were the case. What has not come up short today, Coach, as our segue, is the three-point shooting for these two teams. It's been spectacular, 12 of 22 for Utah.
I like it. You know what I like about it? Not only that the ball's going through and it makes for better play-by-play calls by you, it's just the defense has been good.
Yeah.
The defense has been hard. There's been adjustments made, but both teams have countered with good play calling, tough screening, good ball movement, and just tremendous shot making.
8 minutes to play.
Utah going to a zone for the first time tonight. 2-3 extended at the top.
Betsy hit a pair of threes in the first half. Has it in the far corner with 5 to shoot. Inside, Lukosius was smacked in the back of the head.
That's good offense by Cincinnati. Recognition out of the timeout that they didn't just stand around and stare at the zone. They got organized and went inside.
That's a 4th foul on Jake Wallin, and Cincinnati is in the bonus.
Here's what happens. You play 30+ minutes, and all of a sudden against a man, a team slaps a zone on you. Stand there and look at it. Kind of freeze for a second and then maybe jack a quick 3 because it's a zone, but Cincinnati did not do that.
Cincinnati now 8 of 11 from the free throw line. Madsen off the fingertips of Dawes. The big man Lovering, 7 for 8 from the floor. Lost it going up. Mike Sharv jumps on the offensive glass.
Good job by Sharv Johnson. Dede Thomas was watching, and Sharv Johnson attacked from the weak side with that size. 2-3 again. Extended good length at the top with Sharv Johnson at 6'9" at the guard spot.
Thomas at the free throw circle. That's how you beat the zone. You get into the middle of it.
Well, you pick as well, and that did a good job of screening at the top, which freed up Thomas to get into that mid-range area.
First bucket of the game for Dede Thomas. Gabe Madsen again, this time off the front iron. 2-point advantage for the Bearcats. Lukosius on the 7-footer Lovering. Thomas this time from the near side. Betsy trying to save it. Yeah, he does not.
A little bit of a force by Dede Thomas. Utah off the miss, went back into man-to-man, and Cincinnati never got the ball to change sides of the floor.
Everything going through Gabe Madsen. And why not? Just slightly off on that one, but see the shooting in rhythm of how smooth he is getting rid of the basketball.
Normally say that's not a great shot, but for him it is, and that's even a better play by Cincinnati.
A pick and roll. Thomas finds Mitchell. And a timeout taken by Utah.
Get organized on the previous possession, but on this one they did. And they spaced the court. Some highly difficult shots from the outside.
There's Sharv jumps. Hand off to Madsen to his left. Short. Starting to force it a little bit, but an offensive rebound for the Utes.
They could have probably dished it to Azar. He got doubled at the top. Azar was rolling to the rim right down the middle of the lane, and he was open.
10 on the shot clock for Hunter Erickson to pull Utah within 2.
Now the glass, Utah starting to be effective on that offensive glass.
Five minutes to go in regulation. Josh Reed thought about it. Now drives, pulls up, little floater, lips out.
It was a good move by Reed. He just took his time, was on balance, just couldn't get it to go.
Asar left alone. Not his shot, just one of 7 from 3 now on the season.
No, they're not guarding him from out there, and there's a reason why, because he's not a shooter, and he's got to understand that.
Day-Day harassed up top by Dawes and Asar. Bandego asking for help. 5 to shoot. Thomas tripped up, lost it out of bounds, and it'll be 1 on the shot clock for Cincinnati.
Here's where Cincinnati's going to run that lob to Bandego. And good defense here by Utah. Really good. The whole possession, keeping the ball on one side of the floor, not overextending, not gambling, but here's the lobs coming. You know that. Got to be tight and physical in the middle of the lane. Force the ball to the outside.
Drizzle James brought in to take the inbound. Lukosius over the backboard.
I believe Larry Bird did that once, maybe in a commercial or something a million years ago. That was a good job by Utah defensively. They just clogged that middle. There was nothing there.
2-point game, 4:10 to go. Eric Rothman, Tim Welsh here with you in Cincinnati, Ohio. Mike Sharv jumps, driving for the Utes. Looking for Gabe Madsen and a double dribble. And the call is going to get overturned.
So Randy Tilley jumped in and told Randy McCall that the ball was knocked out of his hands. That's why he could continue or re-continue his possession. Here's what happened. Sharv jumps. He goes up for the shot, then the ball gets knocked out of his hands.
Yep.
By Bandego, and takes that one extra bounce.
Madsen off the mark. Dawes rejected by Bandego, but a goaltending violation. That'll tie it up at 72. Timeout on the floor. Neck and in regulation. Three-pointers in a row. Cincinnati making some adjustments, and the problem is he's just so quick to get his shot off.
Well, but the other thing is Utah's done is they've hit the offensive glass on those misses, and guys like Erickson and Dawes that may play. These guys share jumps. The other guys are helping out, so he still has to be aware of Madsen, but they've got to clean up the glass a little bit better.
12-9 offensive rebounds in favor of Cincinnati, but the Bearcats have not scored in the last 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Drizzle James steps up to the three-point line. Comes up short. Reed tracks down the offensive rebound. Reed driving, floating with the left, gets the roll.
That's a nice job by Josh Reed. You know, he made the 3 threes in the first half. He had maybe a little bit of room, but he knows where his game is. A good job by him getting into the lane with the floater.
That's it against Bandego. Good defense by the big fella. 5 to shoot. Madsen slides to his left. Has missed 5 in a row now. It goes out of bounds. As Madsen now 8 for 20 from three-point range. It's the most three-pointers ever attempted against a Cincinnati Bearcats team.
Well, that's a 10 out of 10 defensively, though. Bandego did a really good job just staying with him on the perimeter. He didn't bite on the ball fakes and then got up for the contest.
It's also the most attempted ever by a Utah Ute. One off a school record in terms of made three-pointers. Thomas up top to Lukosius. 7 to shoot. Lukosius pulls the trigger. Day-Day tracks down the rebound. 2-point.
It's the second missed 3 in a row that Cincinnati's retrieved. And Utah seems to be trying to leak out a little bit. Their guards have to step in and try to get those loose balls.
Reed. 3 to shoot. Thomas spins it in. Oh, and an errant pass by Erickson, and Reed is fouled.
Hunter Erickson got tripped up there. I don't know, he was off balance. Craig Smith wanted a timeout. He wanted to get the ball over half court and call a timeout, and then Erickson just turned it over. He just coughed it up. If he was looking to the sideline, I don't know exactly what happened, but he lost his balance, and he's highly efficient with the basketball. He got caught looking at the bench and just lost focus.
It's the 9th turnover on Utah. The 9th team foul on Utah. You see the free throw discrepancy there. Utah is 4th in the conference in free throws attempted per game at 22. They've only attempted 3 tonight in this one.
So they're bringing it up, and Craig Smith's asking for a timeout. He's trying to he was trying to pitch the ball to Madsen and let him bring it up, and Madsen turned like he was going to go to the bench and wasn't ready, and Erickson tried to get the pass back, and he lost control of it.
13 points for Josh Reed. Madsen has time to settle into one. Mitchell rips down the rebound.
Now they're going to use some clock now, and got the ball in the right man's hands. And this is where Thomas and James together really effective when you need ball handling and great passing.
Bandego flushes it home.
Well, Cincinnati was winning games when they were early in the league in the 60s. Now they're playing games in the 80s, and you can tell this team likes that style. And James and Thomas together at the end of a game, so important because they play off each other. And then Bandego looking for him, looking for his offense, and then he doesn't need a lot of room at the rim. You throw it up there, he can elevate over most.
10 points, 9 rebounds for Aziz Bandego. And how about Josh Reed? He had not had a double-figure scoring game since 2022, and now he's done it on back-to-back nights.
Well, you've got a lot of different things going on right now, and starting with Jizzle James being really a go-to scorer. Bandego, they're going through him quite a bit, but then you're coming off the bench, you've got guys like Reed and Betsy, and even tonight when you had Skillings making good plays as well. So you got 3 guys coming in off the bench that can help you, and then a renewed big man scoring around the rim that you've got a lot of different options and some great balance.
1:16 to play. We'll see if Utah has a final push. Lovering to Madsen in the corner. Off the side of the backboard. He's missed his last 6 3-point attempts, now 8 for 22. Oh, James fell down, lucky to get rid of it. Cincinnati will take their final timeout with 1:01 to play. Oh, one of the catalysts to this run that Cincinnati's on. A minute away from closing out their 3rd straight victory in this conference. And Dede Thomas fouled, 54 seconds to go. This is the 2nd game in a row that you and I have called a Utah team. The loss to West Virginia, now down here in Cincinnati. I got to tell you, I'm sure Utah fans may be a little frustrated with the record, but I think this team, as it's constructed, you look at what Craig Smith has gotten out of it. If he's able to add some assets in the transfer portal next year, he's a darn good coach, and he's getting the most out of this squad this year. There's bright spots ahead for this Utah team.
Well, it's not if, it's when.
Yeah.
You know, Craig Smith's a proven excellent coach, and he's got a great reputation around the country. I can tell you that firsthand, and that'll happen. You know, the first year in a new league is really tremendously tough, and they've obviously got 5 wins already in the league, so they're going to keep building on this, and he's going to see what he needs. You know, you can look at tape all you want, but until you go through the roadmap and of which is this conference, it's hard to figure out what you need. And then the other thing is the recruits and who you're recruiting. Now you're recruiting to this level and this conference, and they'll benefit from that down the road. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, you see how they've struggled away from home. They're 1-5. If they lose today, 1-6 in true road games this year, and they see the discrepancy in their offensive production. Cincinnati on a 10-0 run to close this game out, and Dede Thomas will go back to the free throw line. Just a completely different Cincinnati team than 2 weeks ago, than a month ago. It just, the vibe around this team is different. You can tell. Again, I'll go back to the phrase you used earlier, Coach. I think it's perfect. This team has been freed up for whatever reason, whether it's mentality, whether it's changes to the lineup, whether it's dodgeball and pizza, like you said. It just seems like they are playing with a renewed sense of confidence and enjoyment in the game.
Well, the other part of this is that when you go through some struggles and you have high expectations, you better have good kids, I call them kids, good players, good people, and that like each other and that want to win and don't care about their numbers, or just mail it in and just try to get their numbers and mail in the season. This is easy to do when you start out poorly, but they didn't. And that's a credit to them as people and players, and of course the coaches.
Listen, you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself, but 3 wins in a row for Cincinnati. If you can somehow go on the road and knock off a top 10 team in Iowa State, you are right back on the map.
Right, we talked about before, you know, there's tons of opportunity. I don't know why Cincinnati's fouling there, but they decided to. They have fouls to give, but when you're up 11, there's not much to give. Just play solid defense.
Sharp jumps. Straightaway 3 is good, as Utah has made 13 threes on 31 attempts in this game. Jizzle James Buck. Quick story about Mike Sharpjump. So I mentioned earlier, he is the first player from Mongolia to ever earn a Division I scholarship. His father, a basketball legend in Mongolia, played for the Harlem Globetrotters. Mike, kind of a big man in that country as well. Utah came to Cincinnati directly from their game in West Virginia, so they had a couple days off. A couple players, including Miro Little, took an Uber up to the mall on their day off, and the Uber driver happened to be Mongolian. And somehow or another, Miro Little found this out during conversation and said, have you ever heard of Mike Sharv-Jones? He goes, yeah, of course I've heard of Mike Sharv-Jones. I know exactly who that is. So they FaceTime Mike, and they show the Uber driver, and they said the Uber driver was just flabbergasted, could not believe he was talking to Mongolian celebrity Mike Sharv-Jones, which is pretty cool.
He's had a good season, and Utah will get their wins down the road, but this Cincinnati team is the story, not only tonight, but how they've turned things around quickly and are heading in the right direction in the month of February. They're happy January's gone, and very, very excited about moving forward.